These notes go in your HBS course file. This is for the nervous system, and so I have another little sticky note. Post it on the top so I can easily get to that section of my comp book. Functions of the nervous system: to receive, process, and transmit information in order to control, regulate, and communicate to the body systems. Function of the nervous system is to receive, process, and transmit information in order to control, regulate, and communicate to the body systems. All right, so just a few general terms. Let's do this. All right, EEG. EEG is a test. It is an electroencephalogram. This is a test that detects electrical activity of the brain. So an EEG is an electroencephalogram, a test that detects electrical activity of the brain. All right, and then underneath it you can put EMG. EMG is an electromyogram. This measures electrical activity and impulse related to muscle response. An EMG is an electromyogram, and it measures electrical activity and electrical impulses related to muscle response. Then we saw EKG before, or ECG. We looked at the heart, so EKG, ECG is an electrocardiogram, and it records electric impulses of the heart. An EKG or an ECG is an electrocardiogram, and it records electric impulses of the heart. Oops, let's do this one next. We also looked at this test, the MRI. MRI is magnetic resonance imaging. This is a scan that uses magnets and radio waves to create images of the body, tissue, brain, so softer tissues. So MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. It's a scan that uses magnets and radio waves to create images of the body, tissue, and brain. All right, a couple of professionals, biomed professionals, neurologist versus neurosurgeon. So if it's a surgeon, you're actually going to be doing surgery. A neurologist can also treat nervous system disorders, but it's going to be more along the lines of a office visit kind of thing. So neurologist treats nervous system disorders. Neurosurgeon is going to be doing surgery on the nervous system. Okay, next page. Nervous system is divided into two branches, if you will, two parts, CNS, PNS. CNS stands for central nervous system. PNS stands for peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system, the function of the central nervous system. The central nervous system controls most functions of the body and the mind. So it's where the processing is taking place. Function of the central nervous system controls most functions of the body and the mind. Central nervous system is composed of the brain and spinal cord. So this is where information processing is going to take place. Peripheral nervous system. The peripheral nervous system connects the central nervous system to the limbs and the organs. It relays information between the central nervous system and the body. The peripheral nervous system connects the central nervous system to the limbs and the organs. It relays information between the central nervous system and the body. Peripheral nervous system has further divisions. Peripheral nervous system can be further divided into the sensory division and the motor division. Sensory, afferent, motor, efferent. That's an A, that's an E. So the sensory portion of the peripheral nervous system, the afferent system, it picks up stimuli. So these are the cells that are able to pick up stimuli from the environment. But that's all they can do. The sensory portion of the peripheral nervous system, all it can do is pick up information. It's going to send it to the central nervous system. The motor portion of the peripheral nervous system is efferent, and it carries the directions. It sends the directions from the brain to the muscles in the gland. And that's all it can do. So motor nervous system can't pick up information. All it does is carry what the brain says to do out. Sensory nervous system can't process information. All it does is carry the stimuli to the brain, the stimuli information to the brain. Right? The motor division of the peripheral nervous system can be further divided into somatic and autonomic. The somatic portion of the motor nervous system is voluntary nervous system skeletal muscle movements. Somatic is voluntary, so that's going to involve our skeletal muscle. The motor division of the peripheral nervous system is divided into somatic and autonomic. Somatic, voluntary nervous system involving skeletal muscle. Autonomic is going to be the involuntary portion, so that's going to be smooth and cardiac muscle, heart, digestive system, respiratory system. The autonomic nervous system can be further divided into the sympathetic and parasympathetic components. Autonomic nervous system can be divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic portion, that excites. It raises your heart rate, increases activity. So sympathetic gets you going. It excites, raises the heart rate, raises the activity level. Parasympathetic relaxes, calms the body down. Parasympathetic relaxes and calms the body down. All right, next let's look at the lobes of the brain. Okay, so I've used color to help me kind of distinguish what we have going on here. The cerebrum is all of this area right here. So the cerebrum is all of your brain except for the cerebellum. So this is the cerebellum, the rest is the cerebrum. Okay, occipital lobe, parietal lobe. This gyrus within the parietal lobe is considered the sensory cortex. This is the frontal lobe. This gyrus within the frontal lobe is the motor cortex. This is our temporal lobe. This is Broca's area, Wernicke's area. Let's see, so taste, if there's a center that, most of our sensory cells for taste are right here, most for smell are right there. And then this, of course, is the spinal cord. Okay, so cerebellum, and all of this is the cerebrum. Broca's area. This is an area of the brain when it's damaged, it's going to affect speech production. Right? So a patient had damage to the Broca's area and they can only say the word tan over again. Tan, 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 tan. So no physical impairments that make it so that he couldn't speak. And he could understand what was being said to him, but he could not process, he could not say a coherent sentence back. So Broca's area in the brain, when the patient passed away, they did an autopsy and they noticed that there was damage to that area of the brain, and so that ended up being called Broca's area. And it affected language production. So he could understand, but he could not put together words that would communicate to others. Wernicke's area, so there was a patient that had damage in Wernicke's area. They could speak, and they could put together different words. It wasn't that they could only say one word, so they could put together different words, and it would be a relative sentence. But what was said didn't make sense. It was incoherent in terms of what was asked of them. How they responded didn't make sense. And they could not understand what was said to them. So Broca's area, problems with language production. Wernicke's area, problems with understanding, problems with taking what was said to them and responding in a reasonable way. Okay, gyrus sulcus. So gyrus or gyri, that's the ridge, that's the bump. So in all of this wiggly part of the brain, wrinkly part of the brain, the bumps are the gyrus or the gyri. Sulcus or sulci, those are furrows. So the indentations are the sulcus or the sulci. Sulci, sulci, heard it either way.